Good morning, everyone. Welcome to The Issue. The topic for today is expansion. What does that mean? Well, so for me, one of the places that I've done a ton of expansion in 2018 and looking forward to 2019 is in my body. And so, how does that equate to the rest of my life, right? How does that equate to the possibility of me getting better everywhere? And the reason I say this is because it's always my drive to get better, right? Better at being a trial attorney, better at being a boss, better at being a leader in my business, better at being an attorney for my clients, better at being a husband, better at being a father, better in my spiritual connection. And so as I look to expand and to get better, oftentimes what I do is refer to those places where I'm being successful, and I use those ideas, those lessons where I'm being successful in order to bring those into those places where I'm being less successful than in that space. And so for me, that was body in 2018. I started 2018 at 260 plus pounds in January of 2018. Terrible shape, way out of shape. Couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without being out of breath. I had serious concerns, like that I was going to die of a heart attack. My father had a heart attack. My brother had a heart attack in the last 3 years. And I thought, this is just what's going to happen to me. And I was scared. I wasn't telling the truth about it. I wasn't telling anyone in my life that I felt that way. I wasn't telling anyone in my life that I felt weak or that I felt that I was unhealthy. I'm 49 years old now. I was 48 at the time, and I even had those thoughts and ideas and feelings like I'm not even healthy enough anymore to protect my family or myself. What happens if I go out to a bar? I don't drink anymore, but what happens if I go out to a restaurant or I'm in a football game or somebody goes crazy, and there's a situation where I have to protect myself or my family? Well, I'd be good for about 10 seconds, and then I'd be out of breath, right? And so I was really concerned about these things, and I know that it's silly to think about that perhaps, but that's just where I was, And I made a decision at that time in January, February of 2018 to hire a trainer and to start working out. Work out 3 days a week with a trainer, work out the other 3 or 4 days a week myself, and to just incrementally work at getting better, getting stronger, getting healthy, fixing my cardio, losing fat, putting on lean muscle mass, changing my life. And so, and I've posted privately some pictures of me in February and pictures of me in October, and it's incredible, the transformation, unbelievable, and even more so today. And the reason I'm talking about expansion today is because I have a 90-day goal. My 90-day goal is to be between 12 and 15% body fat. My 6-month goal in 2019 is to be able to press from a handstand from sitting on the floor. Sitting on the floor, put my hands on the floor and press to a handstand. Now that's a hell of a goal. I mean, that's a unbelievably difficult target, right? That is way out there. That's not even something I could have possibly considered doing last year. Even healthy, even in October and November when I was really healthy, and I'm much healthier than I am now. But even at that point where I'd reached reached a bunch of my targets and hit a lot of these targets in terms of being in cardio health and body health and shape, I would have never considered the possibility of doing that. I've never been able to do that. I can pick myself up off the floor in a pike position, but I could never press to a handstand, not even as a young person in gymnastics. And not even as a soldier coming out of basic training. I could almost do it on a set of parallel bars, but not from the floor. And so this is a new expansive thing for me. That's a target that's way out there. Frankly, below 15%, somewhere between 15 and 12% body fat's also a target that's way out there. And so on January 2nd, I had a DEXA scan in New Orleans where I did a bone mass, lean body mass, body fat scan. It was 231 pounds at 22.1% body fat with 171 pounds of lean body mass. And that is a good set of numbers for me, right? But that's just a baseline. That's just where I'm starting. And that's central to what I'm talking about today, which is I feel great about hitting my targets because of 2 things. One, I know that doing the work every day makes a difference. I know that exercise combined with fuel, combined with eating healthy, and I mean eating properly, sticking to the diet that I choose, not going off of it, and being focused on my targets and what I want to do with myself is it, right? They say diet's between 60 and 70% and exercise is the other 30. I think it's more like 80-20 diet to exercise at this point, especially at this point, me trying to learn to really cut body fat. But the only reason I know where I'm going, right? The only reason I feel great about hitting these targets is because I know where I am. I have a real, honest look at where I am. I didn't guess about the body fat. I didn't guess about lean muscle mass. I didn't guess about bone density. I went and got a test. It's cheap. It's $150 or something. It's nothing. Go and do it. Go and do those kinds of things. Get your baseline. Know where you are. You never get where you're going if you don't know where you are, right? Because my targets have to do with where I am. My targets have to do with, all right, here I am, and that's where I want to be. I want to be over there. And the truth is that I don't think I could even consider the nature of the targets that I have, that my targets would not be realistic if I did not know where I was, right? If I just kind of out of the blue said, I want to be 8% body fat, or I want to be 6% body fat, because I don't even know what that means, right? I don't even know what that looks like. I mean, when I went and tested body fat and I tested 22.1, I was like, wow, okay. I didn't realize, I didn't know, I mean, I could see the top stomach muscles in my stomach. I could see the ripples, and I thought I was in better shape than that. It's like, well, wow, man, 15, 12%. That's serious business, man. That is serious business. And so I didn't have even a realistic perception of that, right? I didn't have a realistic perception of what that meant to have 12% body fat or 6% body fat. I mean, guys with 5 or 6% body fat are competition ready. They're on the stage at a competition with skin that's thin like paper. And so that's not where I'm at, right? I know that I'll never be in that position because I'm never going to do what's necessary for me to get to that. I don't want that, though. I don't want to look like that. I just want to be super healthy, right? I want to hit these targets. And so what does that mean for me? Now that I have these targets, now that I know where I am, and I know where I'm going, and I've got targets that are larger than things I had considered in the past, how is that applicable to me in my life, right? How are all of those lessons that I learned with body, how are all those lessons I learned getting healthy, how are those things applicable to my practice, my trial practice, my business, my family? And for me in business, in trial business, it's about hitting singles every day. Like, what am I learning every day? Am I picking up a book and reading for 10 minutes? Am I watching a video and having a thought starter for 10 minutes? Am I responding to a question from someone for 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Am I engaging my brain in the thought process of being a better trial attorney every day? Because if it works in exercise and it works to change my body, then it'll work to make me a better trial attorney. It'll work to make me a better business person. And how do you do that? Well, you do that with a business, a company like the one that I run called Trial Alliance, right? We have this organization, this community of attorneys. And the community of attorneys has an opportunity to share with each other and ask questions and give feedback and watch videos and learn and express, what the lessons that we're getting and the lessons that we're not getting, and ask real questions, Hey, I've got this kind of witness coming up and I don't know what to do. I mean, I just don't. I've never had a witness like this before. This happens to all of us, right? I've never had I've had a lot of witnesses. I've never had a, family member accusing another family member, two adults, of a sexual crime. Every time I've had that, it's been children in practice. So what does that look like? That's a different thing, right? That's a different thing than if a child's doing it, right? Or I've never done a multiple murder where a person's murdered more than one person and I had to try that in both at the same time. Well, how do you do that, right? What is that? How do you address that? How do you, if you have two separate crimes committed at two separate times, how do you address reasonable doubt about both of them? How do you bifurcate those things? Do you really separate them for the jury, or do you try them together? Is it one, claim of innocence, or is it two? And those are the kind of questions that when you come up with those, you think, man, if I had some guys, or some women, of course, I'm just saying guys in the colloquial sense, if I had some people to talk to, if I had someone to go to and say, hey, what have you done? What is your experience? It might not be the best answer in the world, but it's something for me, and it gets me thinking, right? And even small stuff, even like, what kind of motion do I file under these circumstances? Or, hey, look, I'm filing this motion to suppress or this motion in limine on this particular issue. Do you have experience with it? What's the best way to go about it? How do you think I should sell it to this particular judge or in this particular prosecutor or in this particular place, How do I create the record for an appeal if my client has the resources? And so if I'm asking myself those questions every day, it's the same thing as hitting that gym every day. And so I have to look at, am I making myself a better prosecutor? That ain't ever going to happen. Am I making myself a better jury trial attorney every day? Am I making myself a better trial attorney every day? Am I making myself a better attorney every day? What am I doing to get better every day? How am I hitting those singles? How am I making that drum beat happen? And find that drum beat in your life, because if the transformation that I've experienced in body is an indication of the kind of transformation I can make in my trial practice, then hitting those singles, not hitting those singles, is robbing me of some remarkable growth and understanding about what I do for a living. That's my message today. I hope you guys enjoy it. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.